one-on-one.
We're going to find out who can make it to the live shows.
I'm taking you through.
AGT, new Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
Drunk.
Uncle. We all have one of those.
Tuesday, Constance Wu could be in deep trouble.
Mushroom. Toadstool. Now, next time I go to a restaurant, give me some of that toadstool.
Password, new Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
Glassman Media, Spring Hill Entertainment, and Core Media Group.
You're watching NBC4 News at 11.
Now at 11, tragedy in Idaho hitting close to home for two California families. Tonight, we're learning two of the victims in Saturday's shooting at an In-N-Out were from California. Good evening, everyone. I'm Carolyn Johnson. That mass shooting left 3 people dead, 7 others injured. NBC4's Robert Kovacic joins us now with more on the victims and the heroic actions from 2 people that likely saved many more. Robert.
And Carolyn, let's begin with the California connection to the Idaho mass shooting. As you see right here, 2 of the 3 killed are from our state. And late tonight, the New York Times is reporting that Christopher Claunch was from Santa Clarita. Claunch was a patron at the In-N-Out, but the woman you see right there, 23-year-old Ashley Garibai, worked at In-N-Out. She's from Stockton, but traveled to Twin Falls as an associate to train workers there at Idaho's first In-N-Out location. As Carolyn mentioned, 3 dead, 7 injured, and that would have been far worse, authorities say, if the man you see right here, that armed bystander, would not have distracted the gunman. That man seen shooting into a Tesla. The 24-year-old shooter would take his own life, but here is what the police chief in Twin Falls says about that armed bystander and an off-duty state trooper who also engaged that shooter.
We can confirm that there was an off-duty state trooper and a citizen who actively engaged the suspect by returning gunfire towards him. We want to take a moment and commend the actions of the off-duty officer and the citizen in their heroic action to stop this incident. We believe their actions helped drive the suspect away from the scene, preventing further casualties.
And think about this incident. It was an ordeal that witnesses say lasted 10 to 15 minutes. Our NBC affiliate in Twin Falls spoke to a pastor who was there at In-N-Out and describes the immediate aftermath when the gunman opened fire.
We were just in a sea of panic, and there were hundreds of people around there in the restaurant. We were just mainly running for our lives. It was very scary, so didn't have time to really analyze what was happening. It was mainly just get out of there without getting shot.
In a statement tonight from the family of Christopher Claunch, they describe Christopher as having a huge heart and being a big giver. And we also heard from the family of Ashley Garibai. They say Ashley was an amazing, beautiful soul who loved living life and was a friend to all. Now, as for the shooter, who we said took his own life, no motive has been given, and his family has not responded to NBC's request for comment. But we are told they are cooperating with the state and the FBI as the investigation now continues into this mass shooting. I'm Robert Kovacic.
Robert, thank you. Well, an 5-hour-long hazardous materials investigation has now ended in Hollywood. Police and firefighters arrived at the building on Schrader Boulevard near Hollywood and Highland just after 4 this afternoon. Someone apparently fainted after receiving a package in the mail. That person was treated and not taken to the hospital, but an entire floor of that building was evacuated while officials tested the substance. It came back negative for any hazardous materials. The scene is now clear. Let's turn our attention to the weather right now. The heat is here to stay, and the humidity is also making a return. Meteorologist David Bigger is here with a check of your first alert forecast. David.
And Carolyn, at least today was a little bit cooler than we had over the weekend, but it was still pretty hot across some of our inland spots. San Bernardino, for instance, got to 100 degrees. Riverside only a degree behind that. 98 degrees in Ontario, 95 in Van Nuys, 88 in downtown LA. But along the coastline, we had temperatures in the 70s because we have a very shallow marine layer that's trying to help out some of our coastal spots. We still have some heat alerts that are currently in effect. That's mainly for portions the high desert as well as San Gabriel Mountains and the Ventura County Mountains. It's a combination of extreme heat warnings and heat advisories all the way through the 8 p.m. time frame now on Wednesday. We're still looking at that moderate risk of heat-related illnesses, although some spots in the high desert may have a higher risk of heat-related illnesses. But we are going to be watching for the possibility of maybe getting some fog tomorrow morning. This is a loop of this earlier this morning. If you look very closely here around Ventura County, the LA County coast and the Orange County coastline, we did have some very early morning patchy fog and low cloud cover. That all cleared out very quickly. I think we might see it again for tomorrow, and I'll show you where that might pop up once again coming up in just a couple of minutes. Back to you.
New tonight, an arrest in connection with a violent sexual assault in Valley Village. The LAPD says the man seen in these photos attacked a woman after she left a gym last month. This happened in the area of Laurel Grove Avenue and Valley Heart Drive. Police released the photos last week and identified the suspect 2 days later, then arrested Rodrigo Melgar today. Detectives believe there may be more victims who have not yet come forward. New at 11, the fight to preserve health care access in South LA at Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital is facing a financial crisis. NBC4's Darsha Phillips is live in Willowbrook tonight with a potential impact on the community. Darsha.
Yeah, Carolyn, the reality is MLK Community Hospital may have to shut its doors, and we already know how that could impact this community because it happened in 2007 with King Drew Hospital when it shut its doors, and this community was left without a hospital for 8 years. The impact was staggering. Healthcare leaders say they need to do everything possible to keep that from happening again. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital in Willowbrook was originally built to serve 25,000 patients a year. In the past 12 months, it has seen 5 times that number.
125,000 patients came here over the last 12 months. So we are bursting at the seams.
Dr. Atul Nakasi, Vice President of Government and Community Affairs, says the hospital serves an area with few clinics or options for those seeking care.
We're one of the busiest emergency departments in the United States of America.
And now this hospital, with more patients than beds, may have to shut its doors.
We are facing an $80 to $100 million funding gap starting next year.
Dr. Nakasi says about 80% of their patients are on Medicaid. And with the staggering cuts to that program, part of the big, beautiful bill, MLK Community Hospital is facing an insurmountable funding gap.
Right now, when we are on the edge, when we are on the cliff, we need to make sure every public dollar is going to the areas that is most needed.
Tomorrow, the County Board of Supervisors will vote to conduct an independent review of $126 million that goes to 13 hospitals every year. Dr. Nakasi wants that review because he believes it will show that MLK is one of the hospitals that needs that money the most.
If we don't make the best use of all the public dollars at the local and state level, and it's not going to where it's most needed, unfortunately, we'll see hospitals close.
In 2007, when King Drew Hospital shut down, people in this area were without a community hospital for 8 years and felt the impact, and surrounding communities felt the ripple effect.
People not being able to get the care they need, people getting sicker and dying sooner, the tragedy of that, and other hospitals getting strained because even if you can't access care, we all will still get sick.
And healthcare leaders expected to rally before the County Board of Supervisors meeting tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. in front of the Hall of Justice in downtown Los Angeles. We'll have much more on this coming up at TLA tomorrow. For now, that's the latest from Willowbrook. I'm Darsha Phillips, NBC4 News.
Thank you for that, Darsha. New developments in that shocking murder in Chino Hills. Criminal charges were announced today against the surviving suspect, accused of kidnapping and then killing a father in front of deputies. NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi has the latest from the San Bernardino County District Attorney and Sheriff on a possible motive.
San Bernardino County prosecutors announcing charges today in connection with the deadly shooting and kidnapping of a Chino Hills father last week.
This was a calculated act of violence.
66-year-old Jean Quan-Bo is facing 1 count of murder. District Attorney Jason Anderson says he is also facing a special circumstance of kidnapping.
because of the kidnapping being inherently dangerous. We allege that Mr. Bois knew exactly what the plan was when they went to the victim's home, what was going to be done, participated in.
Bo was a surviving suspect and brother of 67-year-old Zheng Feng Bo, who was shot and killed by deputies after a pursuit.
The call, the pursuit, the felony traffic stop, which didn't go according to the normal tactics.
Investigators say the brothers who live together in Irvine are accused of kidnapping and killing Shakur Akbar in the trunk of a car. NBC4 spoke with his daughter on Friday. She did not want to share her name.
My dad, he was the greatest father ever.
We had no idea as an organization responding to this call that there was ever Mr. Shakur in the back of that vehicle.
Prosecutors say the two brothers and the father who was killed had a business relationship. It is unclear for how long they may have known each other.
Obviously, there's been some type of dispute, perhaps either decision-making within the business or some financial loss that led to a dispute.
The family of the father who was killed is now searching for justice and answers.
This has had a tremendous impact on the family of the victim.
It sounds to feel like I'm a and I just wish this is a bad dream and I wake up, he would be here.
Camilla Rambaldi, NBC4 News.
New barriers will be installed at the Venice Pier after a woman drove a car onto the crowded pier last night. Police say it all started when that woman hit a pedicab right before driving her vehicle onto the pier. People ran out of the way to safety as that car drove to the end of the pier, did some donuts, and then drove back. A short pursuit ended in Marina del Rey, where the woman was arrested for driving under the influence and assault with a deadly weapon. We spoke with a man who was at the pier last night fishing with his 3-year-old son.
At this moment, I'm thinking that my son is in danger because that's not something that you normally see. A civilian vehicle in a pier. That is just sad that people decide to do stuff like this.
2 officers